Hi, I'm Ben Felder, News Director of the Piedmont Citizen, and today is Thursday, September 27th, which means it's newspaper day. Over 6,000 residents across Piedmont, Surrey Hills, and surrounding communities are receiving this week's edition of the Piedmont Citizen in their mailbox, and I want to take just a moment to go over some of the stories that you'll find in this week's issue. Well, our cover story in this week's paper is on the much talked about wind farm proposal. Now, this has been a story that we've covered in the Citizen for the last several weeks since Apex Wind Energy first announced officially that they plan to build a $500 million wind farm in Kingfisher and Canadian counties, with as many as a couple dozen wind turbines located inside the city limits of Piedmont. Now, up until recently, this story has really been just about public perception. There are those who welcome the wind farm, there are others that don't want to see it come anywhere close to their home. However, now the issue is becoming a policy debate as Piedmont City Hall and city officials finally start to take a closer look at what a possible wind farm or windmill ordinance should and could look like. In fact, next week there is a public hearing at City Hall. Members of the public will get a chance to sound off on a draft of a windmill ordinance that starts to define what wind turbines located in the city limits should and could look like. Now, also in this week's paper is another story that we've talked a lot about in the Citizen, and that is the relationship between City Hall and the Piedmont School District. Now, over the last couple months, those two entities have butted heads over several issues, but more specifically recently, it's been the issue of drainage in front of the new Piedmont Intermediate School. Now, this is a state-of-the-art building that the city says is causing drainage problems on 164th Street, and the city has been asking the school district to chip in and do its part to help improve the situation. Well, both sides have discussed going together with an interlocal agreement to fix the ditch or to improve the ditch along 164th Street. The school board a couple weeks ago decided that they did not want to partner with the city, and this last week at the monthly city council meeting, the council decided that it was an issue that they were going to have to move on their own. But beyond the issue of the drainage on 164th Street, this story points to maybe a larger problem, which is a lack of communication and some friction between the city and the school district, two entities that probably should have to work together pretty well in order to see the community progress and move forward. Lots of other stuff in this week's paper. In our new Life in Piedmont section, we have a pretty great spread on all the homecoming activities from last week, photos and information. There's also a video on PiedmontDaily.com that you can watch that kind of puts together some of the sights from last week's homecoming celebration. Well, I'm Ben Felder, News Director of the Piedmont Citizen. We appreciate your reading, and we'll see you again next week.